and welcome to the Bureau Asia podcast. I'm Matt Cowan, the Bureau Chief and your host, coming to you from a sweltering, albeit somewhat cooler Saigon, thanks to a splash of rain here and there over the past week or so. It's been a mental couple of weeks weather-wise up and down the country, with temperatures in the north central areas exceeding 40 degrees Celsius, while down here in the south, we're regularly nudging 40 degrees Celsius. Although, I suspect we've gone above 40 a few times, judging by the intensity of the heat. Remember, if you're travelling to Vietnam, and especially Saigon at this time of year, be sure to get the sightseeing done in the morning and then hit the indoors with cool drinks and naps. I'm a big fan of naps in the Arvo, and then get back out amongst it in the early evening just before sundown. Last episode, we celebrated lists with a segment featuring the cheapest destinations in the world, in which Saigon came in at number 6. The best sandwiches in the world, of course, banh mi featured. The best rooftops for watching fireworks in Saigon. And the best red addresses in Saigon, cafes and places to eat that were fronts for the Saigon Special Forces guerrilla groups during the war. I really should get my act together and put my own listicle out on these places, which, once I get round to it, you'll find at thebureauasia.com. But perhaps the highlight of the episode was our review of the Netflix release filmed right here in Vietnam, A Tourist's Guide to Love. We unpacked the top 3 things we thought were noticeably incorrect, romanticised or unlikely to happen here in Vietnam, along with our overall rating for the movie. If you haven't, give it a listen after this one, and if you like it, give it a share, and please give us a review on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It really helps, and perhaps more importantly, gives us the motivation to keep on going. Okay, on with this episode. In the first half of the episode, we take a look at a handful of things making the news and stirring up social media pages in Vietnam. It's actually been a pretty interesting couple of weeks on that front since our last episode, so be sure to stick around for that. Then in the second half, we discuss the red flags you should be looking out for when you go looking for street food in Saigon. That'll be a good one. Don't miss it. Now, looking on beside me, someone who stirs up social media from time to time with her cheeky observations of life in the Tan Pho, is the Bureau Asia's content manager, Melanie Kasul. How are you, Mel?
I'm good, but hey, I just don't stir. I also marinate and fry before stirring.
You definitely stew, don't you?
Oh yeah, and stew. That's right.
Speaking of stewing, it's been very hot, hasn't it?
But it's cooled down. We had a couple of showers to freshen us up.
Yeah. So what seems to be happening at the moment is we build to this crescendo and then the skies just open up. But it's a little bit different this year. It's a bit slower, I think, because of the El Nino year. Anyway, this week I went for a walk around our neighbourhood. Doesn't seem like a bright idea, does it? And on the way round, I noticed how much sugarcane juice was being bought.
Ooh, I love sugarcane juice.
There were piles of it on the footpaths. Now, anyone who's never been to Southeast Asia or Vietnam, sugarcane juice is a thing. So it comes in these sticks, and then they have this contraption that squeezes it out.
The stick is shaped like something that you fight with vampires with, you know? Actually on both ends.
It's a cane.
Yeah, it's a cane.
Yeah, so it got me wondering on my walk around what everyone's favourite drink is to beat the heat in Saigon. So I threw up a poll in our Facebook group asking exactly that. What are the best drinks to beat the heat in Saigon? And encourage people to add their own to the list.
You know what I forgot? Because I did say Nuk Mia, sugarcane juice, but what I forgot to put in there was Tratak.
Oh, yeah. Chatak.
Chatak.
Yeah, like tea
with calamansi.
Calamansi, yeah.
And then yesterday, we actually stopped by a food stall, and they had Tratak Mui, which was with salt. But I didn't try it because I was just like, Okay, I really need a drink, and
Yeah,
I
it's a bit
didn't
of a
want to
thing.
experiment it on it. But maybe next time I'll
Is
try
it a summer thing, do you think? You know, this adding of salt to drinks
Oh,
because
like
we
the
lose a lot
coffee
through our
and salt,
sweat.
like
Yeah.
a Pocari sweat kind of thing. Maybe.
Yeah, I seem to notice it more this time of year. So anyway, in just a couple of days, we've accrued, get this, drum roll. I'll throw the drum roll in here. 100 votes on the poll.
Wow, that's
Not
pretty well.
bad.
That's pretty good.
Hey, we showed $1 for everyone. And I kicked things off with 4 options for drinks to beat the heat
Yep.
in Saigon. The first one was Nuk Mia,
Yes,
which is sugarcane juice.
I voted for that.
Beer Hoi, which is a local Hanoi beer.
Okay, Be Ahoy with ice. I would vote for that.
Yeah. It's a local beer. It's been around since just after the French got booted out.
Okay.
And it's native, for want of a better word, in Vietnam. The other one was Rau Ma, which is a favourite of yours.
Rao ma, rao ma.
I just can't really stomach it too much.
I love it.
It's
It
like
really
kale juice that's been,
pennyworth.
yeah.
It really
don't
cools you down.
What's
The-
pennywort in?
I don't know.
Oh, what is it anyway?
It actually kind of looks like a 4-leaf clover. Almost.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and then the fourth one.
Côte d'Or.
What is that?
It's well, sometimes in English, I kind of made a bit of a mistake with this one because in English we might say coconut milk.
Maybe
for the
coconut
liquid.
water.
Yeah, well, someone else, Lise, her name was.
Okay.
She jumped in and she added Nuk Ua.
Okay, so
which is coconut water.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have seen the Côte d'Or getting around, and it goes in chair, doesn't it? Often we have it in that little dessert.
Well, that is refreshing, but technically not a drink.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
right.
a snack, right? Dessert. Okay.
So in addition to those, we had 7 other suggestions. Among them, Lise, Lise, I think is how we pronounce it. She suggested Nuk Ua, which is coconut water. Greg suggested water.
Of course. Why not?
Francis, the one you just mentioned, Mel, Cha Tak. And old mate Steve Black said
Ice cold beer.
Why am I not surprised?
And it doesn't matter what brand.
No,
you will
doesn't
drink it. Yeah.
Generally speaking, yeah. Some cheeky other ones were from Matthias, who said Mum Tom.
Ew.
Yeah, so Matthias, if you're actually listening to this, here's a challenge. Send us a pic or video of you enjoying a refreshing Mum Tom on ice while beating the heat. I'd like to see that one. Mum Tom is, what is it, Mel? It's fermented shrimp paste.
Yes.
It's kind of purple. And it smells like a bucket of shrimps that have been left out in the sun or left in a car, say, all weekend.
You eat it with like chaka lavong or something like that.
Yeah, eat it with that. You eat it with bum bo hoi as well. You dip it in there. Yeah. So, and Lucas said a glass of ice cold Sauvignon Blanc.
Ooh.
It's quite classy. Cedric similarly said a pool of ice cold rosé.
Oh, I'd love that.
While Mark said the sweat of a Bolivian masseuse. He didn't stipulate whether that was male or female. Now, if you haven't seen this poll, go to our Facebook group. It's called the Bureau Asia Group. I think it's there for an eternity. So please vote or add what
bump it up.
Yeah, drink you like to have to beat the heat when you're in Saigon. And incidentally, Mel, the most popular vote was, wait for it, what are we going to put? A drum? We've already had a drum roll, haven't we? Oh. I'll come up with some.
How about a...
Okay, that'll do it. Nuk Mia with 26% of the vote, followed by Nuk Ua on 18%, then Beer Hoi close by on 14%, and then all the rest just dropped away after that.
Oh, but Rauma, if you get a chance, it's green. Look, you don't have to drink it by itself. You can mix it with milk.
Gin.
No, more healthy stuff.
But as I said, please check out the poll, everyone, and it's now got me thinking that there could be a video in it, Mel. Beat the heat in Saigon with these drinks or something like that.
Oh,
Can
with
you
the
come up-
background music from the musical Miss Saigon. The heat is on in Saigon.
I don't know if I could get away with that.
Okay.
Now, later in this episode, Mel, we talk food and red flags, things that go hand in hand when you visit Vietnam. You need to remain somewhat vigilant when out and about trying street food. But I'd argue not to be too vigilant so as to dampen your travel experience.
It's like you're talking about my nephew who just recently visited.
Is it okay to talk about him?
No.
So are there any unfortunate street food experiences you've had in Vietnam, Mel, that you'd like to share with us?
2006.
Oh, we're going back.
Yeah, we're going back.
That's almost last century.
So on Ton Doc Tang, okay, you notice that there's like a church at the corner there, or there's like an old French school. And then opposite is Lush. Yes, this is
Yeah.
way, way back when Lush was still...
So Lush was there in 2006.
yeah, when I came.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I got mixed up. I can't remember if it's 2010 or 2006 that
It was
I had
definitely there
this incident.
2010. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is this a Lush?
No,
Oh,
it's
right.
a cross.
Okay.
So
we're going to
there's
talk
this-
about Lush in a moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect timing.
Yeah.
So there's this bolalot street food stall at that corner where the church is.
Yep.
And of course, you know, being new in the city and trying to like explore local foods, I sat there in the corner and ordered my bolalot, and then luckily, at
rest
this
is
point,
history.
I was still living near Nguyen Thi Minh Khai, near the TV
I
station.
think I know what's coming.
Yep. So I ran. I literally ran.
It happened
And
that quickly.
It happened so quickly.
Oof.
I paid up and I just ran from Ton Doc Tang, Le Tan Ton up to Nguyen Thi Minh Khai, and
So there you have it. If you have a bout of constipation, make sure you go to that bolalot place on the corner that Mel went to. That'll fix you up.
it's still there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Even after all the complaints you made, and I've been pretty lucky. Thanks for asking, Mel. I haven't really had any bad experiences with street food, to be honest, that I know of. But having said that, yeah, in my first year, it seems like that these sorts of things happen in your first year or years because your body's adjusting, isn't it? And
I remember back then, they also tried to convince you to say, oh, you have to drink this deworming tablet.
which reminds me. Yeah, so I can remember I had the shits for about 3 or 4 days. Like it was nearly every day of the week at work. So I think I spent more time in the toilet than actually doing anything.
Thank God for bidets.
Yeah, and then someone came, bum guns, and then I happened to mention it to someone, I think, during a break, and he said, okay, he ran into the office, grabbed a Lonely Planet, went to the medication section, circled the tablet that I needed, and he said, right, there's a pharmacy down the road there, go give them this and it'll fix you up. And sure enough, it blocked me up for like another 3 or 4 days. Yeah, but when it decided to come, yeah, it came. Well, Mel, it's that time of the episode again where we chew over some of the things that have been going down in Saigon and Vietnam since our last episode.
We chew, we let it down, and then we...
And let it go. Now, this isn't really news, this one, but I just had to include this first up. This week, Vietnam's, and more specifically Saigon's nightlife was panned in an insider article titled...
Blasphemy!
Wait for it. I flew to Vietnam in search of its legendary parties. I found an empty nightclub, people getting high on balloons, and the saddest dance floor I've ever seen. Now, for starters, it's the longest headline I've ever seen. Now, the author, based in Singapore, from what I gather, flew to Saigon to experience the popular club Lush, which is what we mentioned just earlier, after hearing that our city has some of the best nightlife in Asia.
Well, okay. So when I first came to Vietnam, Lush was like the club to be at. But I know, shareholders from Lush, and they're really nice people. But I must agree that Lush probably wasn't the place where she should have gone.
Yeah, well, I haven't been for years. I haven't been, like I went in the early days, but, I look at the photos now on social media and I'm just too old. Now, in the opening paragraph, she says, as far as party cities go, Ho Chi Minh City, also known as Saigon, is the stuff of legend, apparently, Mel.
Oh, I lived it. Yes.
Mel,
I was there.
Just for the record, Mel has a tick and a droopy eye.
No, but look, if you were in Saigon, we have this, informal name to ourselves, like the class of 2008.
Ah, okay.
So if you were in Saigon between 2008 and 2011 or 12, that was like the heyday. Really, truly, well and truly.
Okay. She also said that it's a city where clubs have few rules, so you can find whatever fun you want.
Okay.
I've heard it's easy to find hookups, pay for nothing on ladies' nights, and get intoxicated on laughing gas or nitrous oxide.
Look, what's wrong with ladies' night?
Yeah, I don't know.
I see a lot of, social media posts from women panning ladies' night. It's like, why is there
that?
such
Why?
a night like this? Oh, because it's like, ladies' night is kind of like degrading in a way, in their opinion.
Oh.
But for me, hey, I come from a third world country. If something is for free,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah, it's good value.
And it depends on you how much you want to drink in ladies' night. And if you're going to get really trashed and unfortunately end up, with a walk of shame the next day.
I guess the question is, does it actually bring the guys in, which is what it's meant for, isn't it? Isn't it, ladies' night in Saigon is generally either Tuesday or Wednesday night, is that right?
Thursday.
From memory?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday
Tuesday,
now.
Thursdays, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was sort of brought in because on those quiet nights.
Tuesday was Lush Ladies' Night.
What day? Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. And back in the day for me, it was darts night, which was really cool.
I think that was the point.
Now, we're getting off track. I could talk darts all night, but she goes on to say that she'd been told that Saigon rivals Bangkok when it comes to hosting the best parties in the region, and that unlike Bangkok, many clubs don't close till 5 or 6 in the morning. Ugh, I'm shuddering just thinking about it.
We went to
remembering
sleep.
it.
We regularly go to sleep at like 8 or 9 these days. Yeah.
But I've had some pretty, early or late night,
Early the next day.
early morning nights out in the first 5 or so years that I was here. Yeah, pretty intense, especially in the heat.
Oof.
Now, our intrepid author who jetted in from Singapore for the weekend, she chose Lush after hearing reviews of it promising an unforgettable night and a blazing party atmosphere.
Okay.
But there's always a but.
Yeah.
When she visited on a Sunday night, she was greeted with anything but. Rather, an empty dance floor, a smattering of partygoers sucking on funky balloons, and remixes of pop songs like Camila Cabello's Havana on high rotation, blaring across the dance floor to barely a dozen punters dressed in a strange mishmash of clobber.
Okay. Look,
It's hardly the party atmosphere, is it?
No, but I don't like these, helium balloons that are going around. I mean, based on what I read from her article, that's probably the only thing that I would say, yep, yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's not a good look. I see it in ads on social media and stuff like that for venues, and it is actually a turn-off, I think. In the end, she questions whether she'd made rookie mistakes by going out on Sunday night and not heading to Bui Vien, Saigon's notorious backpacker / party street / cesspool.
Look, Sunday, yeah. The Vietnamese, though, I've noticed in general, because most of them still work on a Saturday morning.
Yep.
Sunday is a big hangout afternoon and evening for them.
Yep.
And
Karaoke rocks.
Karaoke rocks.
Yep.
The hot pots, the nyaos, especially if there's a football game going on. Yep. It is happening. But at Lush, At a nightclub? Probably not.
Sure.
No.
Anyway, Mel, you know me. I'm always eager to find out what followers of the Bureau Asia think. So I posted in our Facebook group and it got some good reach. 1,200 people, in fact. Yeah, not too bad. Again, I'd like another $1 for that. So let me read some of the responses. Rob said, review a whole city scene based on one club on a Sunday night? What editor lets this story run?
Maybe the writer is the editor as well.
To which Garrett replied, just saying that Vietnam has some of the best nightlife in Asia is a joke. Should never got to run with that headline.
Look, the thing is, when you say nightlife and then best parties, there have been international DJs come to Vietnam. So if a party is planned right and there's a schedule for it, of course people are going to go. But just a random pop-up on a Sunday? Probably not.
Yeah, it's probably not a good measure of your nightlife.
No.
Chris said, embarrassing content from this journalist who clearly didn't do any research before this trip. Chris also said she should tune into the Bureau Asia podcast.
Yay!
I'd say yes to that, but not for clubbing news these days. Jason said best part was when she said, it dawned on me that it might not be the best place to find a wild all-night party, but we stuck with the plan. Then complained. And George said, that's a terrible article. But I do find the balloons a bit sad overall. It's weird how they've taken over Saigon's nightlife to the extent not seen anywhere else.
I agree.
He makes a good point.
Yeah, and it's not just in the public. I know for a fact that there are some private parties that they get delivered to the house or to the apartment. So unfortunately, this balloon thing is just ballooning.
Now, if you want to check out that article and read more of the comments from Bureau followers, head to our Facebook group, the Bureau Asia Group. Okay, from balloons to sugar babies and sugar daddies, Mel.
No, from Nook Mia to to Nook Baby and Nook Daddy.
Dung. Yeah, dung babies. Yeah. Come to think of it, this probably isn't news to many of you listening to this, but I'm going to present it anyway. Social media is the new sanctuary for prostitution. At least that's what a VN Express headline said last week in an article about how prostitutes in Vietnam cough, cough, are there any, are rebranding themselves as sugar babies and making good use of private groups on social media to approach their target clientele.
Interesting.
According to Hang Hang in the article, who is a self-described go-between active in Hue and Da Nang, who, Mel, I think is commonly what we would call a pimp, says nobody solicits visibly on the streets anymore as cops can show up.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, way back when, I remember that red bridge.
Where's this going?
No, the red bridge between Phu My Hung and Him Lam, on the route to District 8. There were a lot of women just walking and then trucks.
I don't know which
stopping.
bridge you're talking about. Now,
okay.
Hang Hang says they are more graceful than that. We've moved to Zalo.
Oh, so high tech.
Of course, Zalo is Vietnam's own messaging app. Well, thanks for telling us, Hang Hang and the cops. Yeah, thanks for that. Now, apparently sugar babies who find their sugar daddies often meet 6 to 8 times per month and command around 8 to 10 million dong for the privilege.
Oh, see, the thing is, sugar daddies and babies are not exclusive to Vietnam. In fact, the word sugar babies and daddies actually have more of a business-like platonic relationship.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what your definition is of a sugar baby compared to, say, a straight-out prostitute.
So I don't know any sugar babies or daddies personally to make this, definition. But
so we're not going to offend anyone.
No.
That's good to know.
But watching, news videos and news clips, specifically Vice Media on Facebook, it seems to me that sugar babies and daddies act more like a have more of a business partnership, like a sugar daddy comes into town and they need an escort, to take them around, maybe accompany them to a function. And the girls that are sugar babies, they're actually only doing this to go through college. And then after that, they have a house and they move on. Yeah.
And a laptop and a car.
iPhone.
But sex is involved. Like an escort may typically be someone who does just escort someone, is on the arm of someone.
Yeah, just arm candy.
But sugar babies, they give it up.
Oh, from your understanding?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, the article also introduces us to Huai Huai. So we've got Hang Hang and Huai Huai, a self-proclaimed trustworthy pimp who operates in Ho Chi Minh City and Bin Yung, which is in the northern part of the city, and connects customers with a sugar baby or sugar daddy within a day. I wonder if there's a guarantee like a pizza delivery. Get her by the close of business or get her free.
I'm also wondering, how they match the daddy and the baby. Because like, for example, on Tinder and Grindr, they swipe and they add in their preferences and stuff.
There must be some kind of resume.
Okay.
And then what they do is they organise a meetup. So before any sort of transactions take place, whether physically or financially take place, they still have to agree with each other face to face. So they still meet up in a, a neutral environment.
You think? But if it's all through Zalo, maybe they just send a photo or a video and then they just judge it based on that,
Yeah.
And
All
then
right,
Zalo
I'll
also
do some research.
Zalo also has Zalo Pay, so you can actually pay through Zalo immediately.
Yeah, and I've got Zalo. Okay. Now, in exchange, the so-called, what was he? Trustworthy go-between, he gets 15 to 20% for his pimping efforts if it all works out well. Now, you might be wondering, Mel, where these sugar babies and daddies hook up once their match has been made in heaven. Take a guess.
Maybe they go to a coffee shop, restaurant, something like that.
I mean, to sort of do the
Oh, okay. Because my understanding, again, of sugar baby and daddy is like purely escort service.
No, it's more than that.
Okay.
It's more than that. So it's like a benefactor sort of relationship where she's on a retainer.
Well, then
It could work with same sex as well. I don't know. That generally doesn't really get publicised. But the usually the sugar baby, which is the girl usually,
or a mommy, lady, could be a sugar mommy.
Well, I've heard of instances of that, but it doesn't seem to make it to the newspapers.
All right, so if they are the benefactor, maybe they.
Where would you, if you were a sugar mummy?
Well, I would.
And I was your sugar baby.
Well, I would tell if I was a sugar baby, I would tell my sugar daddy, I want an apartment. So rent an apartment. And
full time?
Yeah.
Monthly?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Then they would meet up in the apartment.
Okay, nice. What about if you had multiple sugar daddies?
Well, I put them on a schedule.
Yeah, but one would provide the apartment.
A car. Yeah.
You can't drive.
The other one would be my tuition fee,
Okay. Well, you're pretty close. Popular places before it gets really serious like that are villas, apartments, shops. Apparently.
Well, you have to buy me a bag.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
And cruises.
Oh.
Yeah. Sex services apparently are often offered as an accompaniment to travel tours and sports tours, including travel abroad. Perhaps that explains why Vietnam's domestic tourism numbers are through the roof, Mel.
Look, people need to be fed. They need an income. And respect to whatever trade they want to engage in.
Okay. So how much a sugar baby makes per month is ultimately up to how well she negotiates and how many sugar daddies she can meet up with in a day or week. But starting salaries begin at around about 100 million dong per month, or around $4,500 US dollars.
Excluding apartment rent and...
Yeah, I think this is cash in hand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or through Zalo Pay, perhaps.
Okay.
But the risks, both health and legal-wise, are worth it, according to Swan, who was interviewed in the article, especially if she can angle a benefactor who'll give her an allowance of at least up to 20 million Vietnamese dong per month to be available for whenever he calls.
Wow. Well, good on the females for doing it. I'm really interested to find out the male perspective in all of this, like sugar babies that are male.
So to music, Mel, and you're going to need your headphones for this one.
I have them on.
Celebrated Vietnamese pop star Song Tung MTP has released an English language song on YouTube, and it's become a hit overnight.
Wow, I am so excited.
After being uploaded at midnight, his song Making My Way had 3.6 million views by the next day.
Wow.
The 29-year-old, who's one of Vietnam's biggest pop stars with 10.3 million subs. Are you excited?
How many people live in Vietnam?
100. So he's got like 10%. Yeah, on YouTube. So it's said that his song is a way for him to forget about things that didn't work and is a reminder to follow his heart. I think I might have the harp play here. He says it's a soliloquy of a heartbroken man who is able to endure the pain of being lied to and forget about his past love.
Wow. Well, look, the message is interesting. Okay.
So as we speak, Mel, the song has been viewed 17 million times, but the only problem with it is that I struggle to actually hear what he's saying, although that's nothing new with songs, whether in English or not.
Well, maybe that's why it's been viewed 17 million times, because people need to listen to it more than once.
Yeah, good point. So anyway, I thought I'd give you a quick listen.
Okay.
So you'll have 17.1 million, 17 point, I don't know, whatever it is. So I thought I'd give you a quick listen to some of it, Mel, to see if you can hear what he actually says.
All right, let's go.
All right, so I've chosen a little segment out of it, and all I want you to do is have a listen, and then after it, maybe tell me what percentage you probably understood and what you got from it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. She's looking at the...
Working my way. Okay. One line.
I just wanted to tell everyone that you were looking at the ceiling and your eyes had sort of glazed over.
I was trying forget me and then working my way. Those are the only things that I caught. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm Making My Way is the name of the song. Yeah. It's a catchy tune though, isn't it? Don't you think? I don't mind it.
It's full of auto-tune.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Let me just read out the words for you. Feeling that you feign.
Okay.
Fooling me again. No need to explain. Taking my own lane. God's helping me out. Get over my doubt. Thought I can't live without. Forget you right now.
Oh, I did get the word forget.
Yeah. You did, yeah. You got so you got about
I don't know.
Based on
a
that,
line
about
in one
10%,
word.
10% of that. But I mean, in all fairness, a lot of songs are difficult to hear the lyrics, aren't they?
I think it's the mixing of the song. The lyrics are really catchy.
The lyrics are quite good.
Yeah, I mean, if I listen, the song is good. And now that you've shared with me the lyrics, I think that it's okay. But there's too much auto-tune. The sound engineer, I think, is to blame, not the singer.
Well, they've got 17 million views on it, Mel. So, they're doing something right. He's got a massive following. I'll give it to him. It's catchy. There isn't a job for him at English language schools at the moment where they're crying out for teachers. But I don't think he needs it.
Okay, but here's the thing though. When his fans listen to the music, Are they watching YouTube and also looking at the lyrics?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I no idea.
Yeah.
But, I think good on him for doing it because it looks like he's pushing boundaries and he's pushing for greater reach internationally as well. And it's probably reflective of what the Vietnamese are doing at the moment as well. The younger generations, their English is better and they're more curious about things going on in the world.
All right.
Okay, so somewhere closer to my heart, Mel, Vung Tau.
Cup Sinjak.
It's just been announced that Back Beach in Vung Tau is going to get a much-needed facelift.
Oh, and you called it before this news article came out.
Did I?
Did it?
Oh,
Yeah.
did I? Oh.
Yeah, last episode, right? Or 2 episodes back.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
nice. Can't really remember it.
Breaking news.
Well, there are plans afoot for the section of beach along there that runs 3.2 kilometres to become a high-class area with loads of green public spaces. The renders that I've seen online, the pictures of it, the drawings, they look pretty stunning. Whether or not it actually comes to fruition is another thing. Let's just hope they're not relying on the train to get there.
Well, look, what do you call these things? The architectural blueprint / like 3D. What is it called?
Modelling.
Modeling, yeah, exactly.
Renders.
They're always very promising.
Yeah, they look pretty flashy.
I mean, just a couple of kilometers from where we lived, I thought this was going to be a marina with a yacht. But the yacht didn't make it through the canal. Yeah.
Well, this one in Vung Tau, this comes after late last month the authorities there launched a campaign to remove anything illegally built along Back Beach, to open it back up to the public, but presumably also to prepare it for the bulldozers. According to the plans, a 10,000 square metre square will be built along with restaurants, parks, pedestrian-only zones and even outdoor cinemas, Mel.
Ooh, promising.
Currently, the reclaimed space is being used for parking, but yeah, I'm happy something's going to be done about it. It's an incredible stretch of beach that, in a way, and people might laugh at me by saying this, it rivals Nha Trang.
Oh, I thought you were going to say rivals Bali.
No, not quite. Yeah, I mentioned that. So give it time. Except I think it would be an opportunity to give that strip back to nature and just not have any development on that spot because it's literally right on the beach. And Vung Tau cops those really serious storms blowing in off the East Sea from the Philippines.
Look, I'd like to be more excited, but I'm really wary of developments, especially when it comes to developing a natural area. So I'm going to hold my applauses and congratulations for now.
And finally, VN Express ran an opinion piece last week singling out bad tourists, called Tourists' Trashy Behaviour is Unfair to Service Providers.
Ooh.
Perhaps the sequel to A Tourist Guide to Love will be A Tourist Guide to Bad Behaviour.
Look, that tourist guide, Sin, was a really creepy tourist guide.
You haven't stopped on him, have you?
No.
You know? Gosh, leave him alone. Coincidentally, the author of the piece, not A Tourist Guide to Love, had just come back from the long reunification day and Labor Day holidays in Vung Tau, where she'd stayed at a mid-range hotel near the beach, and she got talking to one of the housekeepers at the hotel who told her that tourists litter rooms with trash and that she finds garbage stashed under beds and in wardrobes, and that white bath towels are used to clean up food mess and dirty feet.
Ooh, okay, so are these local tourists or foreign tourists?
Mostly, she said, local.
With or without
There's
children?
hardly any foreign tourists here at the moment.
No, I mean with or without children.
I'd imagine, well, on those big long weekend holidays,
Maybe
it's often
with,
family.
yeah.
family
So,
holiday.
stuffing things under the bed might be just some kid playing
Could
hide
be.
and seek, you
Yeah,
know?
could be. But surely as a parent, you would do a bit of a sort of a run around and
Oh,
clean
yeah,
it up a
make
little
sure,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a parent. The article provides a list of things that are common experiences at many hotels in Vietnam during public holidays.
Oh, I feel bad for the staff, actually. Especially in Vung Tau, where we often, do short trips.
Yep.
The staff are so friendly and they're just,
They do their best.
yeah.
So the list is air conditioning never gets turned off even when guests are out of the room.
Are we talking about Vung Tau or when my nephew came to visit?
I hope he's not listening to this. Curtains covered in food stains. So that sounds like kids, doesn't it?
Okay, but we did stay at a hotel in town and we accidentally ripped their curtains and we didn't tell them.
Oh yeah, but that was an accident. Like
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Anyway, durian eaten in rooms and seeds discarded into bathroom sinks.
Okay, we definitely don't do that.
Seafood like crabs left in bathroom sinks, so that the legs being pulled off them.
So these are hotels when you can bring food or have a barbecue area, probably, right?
Yeah. Well, or just bringing them back and eat. Yeah, bringing them back maybe pre-cooked
Take away or something.
whatever. Yeah, yeah. I imagine they're probably not the only crabs left behind as well. Now, towels stolen.
Oh, we never do that.
Oh, yeah. Really?
No, we don't.
oh.
We take the toothbrushes and the soaps
Yeah.
and the lotions and the slippers,
Yep.
but we do not take the towels.
Trash left in sinks.
Yeah, I
and
can't stand
guests
that.
refusing to check out on time.
Look, we have on occasion requested a late checkout, but we never get shitty if we were refused.
These are flat refusals. People just saying, "Look, I paid for this room.
No
and, I haven't
way.
been here for 24
but
hours."
the staff needs at least an hour and an hour and a half to clean it.
Well, probably more with these guys. Now, Mel, next time we check into a beachside hotel or any hotel for that matter, we'd better hit the sinks with some strong cleaning agents because the housekeeper reports witnessing someone washing their baby's ass in the sink.
Oh.
The author also says that the mindset of I pay so I'll behave how I want is very common in Vietnam.
The author is Vietnamese.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So it really does make you wonder what else goes on in those rooms.
We better bring those UV lights next time.
Mel, as you know, we always aim to try to bring value to our listeners in some way, shape or form. Perhaps we don't always necessarily nail it, but we try. So to round out this episode, I thought we might give some tips on what to look for when choosing a street food vendor to eat at.
Yep, let's do that.
Now, the inspiration for this came via an article I came across the other day called 14 Red Flags to Look Out For When Eating at a Vietnamese Restaurant.
Are you sure this is not about my nephew visiting us and refusing
not at all.
to eat street food?
No, not even going there. The article was clearly written for an American audience who might be thinking about dining out at a Vietnamese restaurant in the States. But I thought it wasn't a bad idea that we could use it to create our own list, with a heading like 5 ways to avoid the shits when you hit Saigon.
Okay.
How to avoid the Saigon squirts on your next Vietnam holiday.
Okay.
How to ensure you retain the Saigon street food you ate last night.
Why is it all about Saigon? What about Hanoi and Hue?
Well, I'm more
and
familiar with
Da
Saigon.
Nang and Nha Trang?
I think we can comment about Saigon
Okay.
street food with some kind of credibility.
Okay.
Yeah? So let's come up with 5. You go with one first.
Okay. So obviously we've both thought about this. So the list is gonna
Not for long.
Okay. So the list is gonna, jump out really quickly. So for me, number 1, check out the toilet. Do they have one? And do they have soap?
I'm actually thinking don't go there. Don't even go to the toilet
No.
because it could ruin your night.
No, what I mean is that, okay, the staff, usually there's only one toilet for the staff and guests.
Yeah.
So if the staff has been there, the whole day or the whole evening prepping the food, normally like in fast food chains, there's a big sign that says, don't forget to wash your hands after using it. And that's a reminder, especially for staff. So if there's no toilet whatsoever and there's no soap, then most likely the staff who's also using that toilet, has no means to clean their stuff up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. For me, I'm thinking no flame, no game.
Ooh.
I highly recommend you look out for places that have their woks roaring with red hot flames, which generally indicates the food is actually being cooked, for one thing, or there's actually an attempt going on to cook it.
Okay.
And there's likely to be a high turnover of food, meaning that the place is popular.
Oh, yeah.
Not just because it's tasty and at a good price, but because it has a safe reputation.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
All right. My second would be open your water and beer bottles at your table. Although there is no guarantee about the ice.
Okay. Yeah. Well, often if you go to one of those wanyao, there'll be a person there opening.
A PG, yeah.
Either a PG or just staff there who will open the bottles for you. And often there'll be like a milk crate, a beer crate, next to your table.
For you to put the bottles in after.
Oh, well, the full ones will be there.
Yeah. And then you replace it.
Yeah. And someone will come by and fill up with ice and all that sort of stuff.
I think my tip is more for women so they don't get, GHB'd or something like that.
Yeah, that might, maybe at a club, that might happen. But I can't see it happening.
Not on a Sunday night.
We're talking about street food.
Not on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
because
not on a
apparently
Sunday night.
the clubs are dead on a Sunday night.
But what are your thoughts on ice in drinks and stuff like that? Should travellers have it? Because that's what they worry about.
I think it's especially those tube ice that has a perfect shape and a perfect hole in the middle. So they're industrially processed. So yes to that. Yeah. But if your ice looks like it's been done a hack job, then maybe not. Because
but it all comes down to handling too, doesn't it? I mean, there's a lot of hands that it goes through, literally.
If your ice has an almost perfect tube shape or square shape, then that's industrially made and you should trust that. Yeah.
Another one for me would be no flip, it's shit.
What's that?
If you're a stickler for a modicum of cleanliness at a street food stall, I'd say take a look at how their cutlery is looked after.
Okay.
Like how it's being contained. So typically chopsticks and spoons and forks here, they're kept in a communal type plastic box with a flip lid.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
So, and places that care more, they'll often have like a little towel.
Yeah.
A hand, a face washer or something that's covering
like
it
a small square towel.
Yeah. I don't know if it makes any difference. Like scientifically, I don't know if having a little hand towel over. I guess it depends how clean the flip
top.
Yeah, it would help a little bit. The thing is that those boxes, as I said, are communal. So people are rummaging through them. You know, when you go and have a bowl of pho and you sit down, you get your bowl, you put your herbs in and you put everything else in and then you reach for the chopsticks and the spoon.
Or you
flip the lid and I don't know how many other people have been flicking through,
And not to mention if before you reach for your cutlery, you've already squeezed the lime in the pho and put like a chili in the pho, then, it's the same thing with toothpicks, right? You don't know if they put it back.
The toothpicks are generally in a little pepper shaker. They're almost like a little pepper shaker, repurposed thing.
Yep.
And I do it. I'll tip it up. When I've finished eating, I'll grab the little pepper shaker, tip it up, and because there's lots of little holes in it, 20 toothpicks come out. And I only need one or two, and then I sort of just put them back and put it back. I mean, I do, when in Rome, I do what they do generally, and most places don't have chopsticks separately wrapped. And I'm really surprised because COVID, we went on a bus today where they wouldn't let us on unless we had a mask on.
Yeah.
But then you go down to a fur joint and 50 people rummage through the
Communal
chopsticks
chopsticks,
and spoons. Yeah. So have you got another one?
Yep.
I think this is to wrap it up.
Yeah, well, I'll word this as a positive. So trust places that close and take a break between 2 to 5 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Why?
Well, okay. So if
So
you're
they're not grumpy when they come?
Yes,
Oh.
and they're not flat out. So if you open your joint, for breakfast at 6 a.m. and run your staff through the ground until 10 or 11 or whenever your food is finished, they're going to be cranky. They're going to be tired. They're not going to, have enough rest. So if
They're not going to wash the dishes that are piling up on the...
Yeah, or they just forget things, They're going to be flat out, tired. And if there's a place that actually gives the 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. break and open again for dinner, then also the kitchen will prep again.
Yep.
There's a new batch of food being prepped for dinner. The staff will have a time to clean and actually take a rest.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Yeah, okay. Are we up to the last one? Number
Yep.
5? Sorry, I thought the last one was the last
No.
one, but this is the last one.
So my last tip would be, consider eating at the place if, just take a look. Do they leave dirty dishes piled up on the curb?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Have you actually eaten that you know of?
No.
You know what I'm going to say?
No.
Where the dish pig is washing the dishes in a plastic tub. So there's a pile.
Oh, yeah. Like a pail.
And there's like,
Yeah.
a pail, is
Yeah.
it? In the gutter, right near the
No.
opening
but
that
I
goes
know
into
what
the
you
sewer.
mean. That's why this is my tip. Because I don't.
You have.
Have I?
Yes.
Where?
You know that gum dum place you really like in District 4? on the
Oh, in
corner where,
Calmet?
like by day, it's a
Motorbike-
motorbike shop. And
No.
then by night, that has the biggest pile of dishes.
No,
getting-
but usually we do takeaway. And so for that, I rely on the flame. I
don't know.
rely on the
Okay,
flame and smoke.
That's one of my recommendations, yes.
The
But,
flame and smoke.
Yeah.
And and we usually get takeaway, so I don't eat there.
Yeah, but I don't know if that makes much difference. But
Well, can I add one more then?
yeah.
So with regards to the cutlery and the chopsticks and stuff, between 2 to 5 p.m. when they do wash it up, they lay out all the chopsticks under
In the sun. If they're wooden. Yeah, yeah.
on the curb.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it would work in this sun possibly.
Yeah,
I
but it's
don't
going to be
know.
rainy
I
season
don't know.
soon.
I don't want to think about it. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, share, and comment, and feel free to ask any questions related to Vietnam and the region on the Bureau Asia's social media channels at the Bureau Asia, and I'll do my best to answer them. Mel, as usual, thanks for joining me again. Any tips for the upcoming rainy season?
Can it be a question instead?
Yeah, I guess. What, to me?
Yeah. What's the name of that tablet that we're supposed to have in case we get that?
So that's your tip for the next rainy season. Okay, well, I think it's a good thing that that's it for this episode. Don't forget to send in your comments and questions before our next episode so we can comment and answer, and I can also answer Mel's question. Until then, take care and stay safe. This is Matt Cowan.
And Melanie Kasul. Enjoy your week wherever you are.